This is part 2 of a mini-series about Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana. If you haven't caught part 1 yet, definitely give it a look. It dives into his early life and education, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Let's dive into how he became a key figure in Ghana's journey to independence. Nkrumah returned from studying abroad as a passionate Pan-Africanist, fueled by his strong dislike for colonialism. He drew a great deal from the powerful ideas of Black American writers like W.E.B. Du Bois and Pan-Africanists like Marcus Garvey. But his real political awakening didn't happen until he traveled to London in 1945. There he got involved with the international Pan-African movement and its activists who were campaigning against colonial rule in Africa. This included the likes of Jomo Kenyatta from Kenya and George Padmore from Trinidad, his close friend and mentor. They all met regularly and discussed ways to end colonialism in their respective countries. And this greatly influenced Nkrumah's thinking and helped him to articulate his vision for an independent Ghana. He returned to the Gold Coast in 1947 and immediately began organizing politically. The Gold Coast was a British colony ruled directly by the British Empire, and although it had some limited self-governing institutions, real power was still firmly in the hands of the colonial administration. Nkrumah believed that the Gold Coast was ready for full independence and not just more self-rule within the British Empire. And so he began mobilizing the people to achieve this goal. Nkrumah joined a political group called the United Gold Coast Convention, or UGCC, which had been formed in 1944 by local leaders who wanted a more gradual end to colonial rule. However, when Nkrumah returned to the Gold Coast, he found that the group was not as active as it once had been, and that many of its members had lost faith in the possibility of independence. Undeterred, Nkrumah took charge of the group and began organizing protests against the British. He led a series of demonstrations and strikes which drew the attention of the colonial authorities. The British government responded by arresting several UGCC leaders, including Nkrumah. But this only served to galvanize public opinion behind the movement for independence. In 1948, the British government released Nkrumah from prison and allowed him to travel to London to attend the annual conference of the British Labour Party. While in London, Nkrumah met with several members of Parliament and other influential people in order to drum up support for the cause of independence. Although his efforts were unsuccessful, Nkrumah realized that he could not work within the British system to achieve his goals. Instead, he would have to form his own party and run for political office in order to end colonial rule. And so in 1949, he broke away from the UGCC and founded his own party, the Convention People's Party, or CPP. The CPP quickly became the most popular party in the Gold Coast and won a landslide victory in the 1951 elections. He set up a new constitution, built universities, and boosted industry. In 1957, he declared the Gold Coast Republic, and the country was renamed Ghana. Nkrumah had achieved his goal of independence, and he became the first president of the new nation. Nkrumah's huge impact is still felt today. He remains a towering figure in African history, and his legacy continues to inspire people around the world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. You can also subscribe to our channel to learn more about African history. Long live the legend, Kwame Nkrumah, the African Observatory.